Say, in the last class we discussed descriptive programming in complete continuation. Say, descriptive programming, or you can say programmatic descriptions. Programmatic descriptions. See, actually descriptive programming is a mass term. Most of the people using this term, but HP never used this term in their documentation. They used programmatic descriptions. Both are synonyms. You can use descriptive programming term, no problem. Say, already we discussed what is descriptive programming. What is descriptive programming? Enter or provide objects information directly into statements or steps is called descriptive programming. Enter or provide objects information directly into statements or steps. Next, we discussed the difference between object repository based test and descriptive programming. Difference. What is the difference? Say, external viewpoint of view, all types of statements are same, but test object statements vary. Test object statements vary. Next, internal process. Say, object repository based test uses object repositories. During execution, it reads statements one by one from UFT tool editor and gets objects information from object repository. Based on that information, performs operations or actions on AUT. In case of descriptive programming, during execution, UFT reads statements one by one. Objects information also available in the statements. Based on that information, performs actions directly on AUT. Descriptive programming is faster than object repository based test. Why? Reason is complete information available in one place. If it is object repository based test, instructions and nothing but steps or statements available in UFT tool editor, objects information available in object repository. Okay. Next, syntax also we discussed. Syntax for writing test object statements. Syntax. See here, primary things in this descriptive programming. First we have to know what is descriptive programming. Next, advantages. Advantages of descriptive programming. Next, syntax. Syntax for writing test object statements. Why only for test object statements? See, remaining statements, utility statements, flow control statements, function calls, action calls, all are same, all are common for all types of test design. Next, how to select appropriate properties information for recognizing objects. Next, write descriptive programming. Next, centralized maintenance. See, centralized maintenance. Centralized maintenance of test objects. See, these are the important things. See, first two we discussed. Syntax, third one also we discussed. Just once again, tell me, suppose if it is two test object statement, tell me the syntax. If it is two test object statement, already we discussed. Whenever you want to perform any operation on child object, we need to write parent-child hierarchy. Suppose if it is two test object statement, tell me the syntax.
Test object name.
First.
Test object.
Tell me clearly. Test object of
object name.
Object name. This is object repository based test. Test object of property.
Properties and value.
Property. Property name colon equal to
value.
Property value, or you can say value dot two test object statement na child test object of same property name and colon equal to property value dot method or operation. Suppose if we feel one property information is not sufficient for recognizing any object uniquely, that time we can provide more than one property information by separating with commas. How? Or say, suppose property 1 name, property 1 value, comma, again double quotes property 2 name, property 2 value, comma, property 3 name, property 3 value, like that. Okay. This is syntax. Example. Suppose dialog is test object, text is property of dialog object, colon equal to login is value of text property dot win button is child test object, next property text colon equal to, for example, cancel is value of text property dot click is method or operation. Just a minute. You can directly execute this statement. Executable statement. Observe. Run the script. See, login dialog disappeared. Suppose if you feel one property information is not sufficient, see, in this scenario sufficient. If not sufficient, then how? See, suppose height colon equal to comma width colon equal to And one more thing, don't provide incorrect information. Suppose you entered 3 properties information, 2 properties information correct, 1 property information incorrect. Tools can't judge. Only human users can judge. So provide correct information. See this button height 23 pixels, height, next width 60 pixels. See, height 23, width 60. Run the script. See, executed. Okay. Syntax okay. Next, how to select appropriate properties information. Say, for every object, for every software object, we have 20 to 30 properties information. Using that complete information, time-taking process. See, generally we use 1 or 2 important properties to recognize objects uniquely. How to identify that unique properties information? Okay. How to identify? Here 2 possibilities. Using UFT object identification configuration. Using object identification configuration. Say this UFT object identification configuration based on user interface standards, based on UI design standards. Say based on UI design standards. See, in the industry some standards are there. Developers follow those standards. Sometimes developers may not follow. Suppose if our development team follows, then you can use this object identification configuration. Otherwise, just a trial and error. Use one property, guess, use one property, perform dry run. Dry run means sample run. If it is executing, continue. Otherwise, change the property and perform dry run. See. If development team follows industry standards, UI design standards, then use UFT object identification configuration. See this UFT object identification configuration based on UI design standards. Okay. Otherwise, suppose if development team not follows UI design standards for some objects design, say another scenario, if development team not follows UI design standards for some objects, not for all objects, for some objects, then how to select? Tell me.
Then object spy.
Object spy. What is the object spy? What is the use of object spy? It gets object
See
information.
property.
Here our requirement is selecting appropriate properties. How object spy identifies appropriate properties? Here in this scenario, object spy is helpless. If development team not follows UI design standards for some objects, then trial and error. See, select, just guess, select one or two properties and perform dry run, sample run. If they are suitable, then continue. Otherwise, change the properties information, change the properties and perform dry runs. Getting the concept? Tell me how to select appropriate properties for recognizing objects uniquely.
Trial and error. If
First one, see, observe the question. How to select appropriate properties for objects? How to select appropriate properties for recognizing objects uniquely? First one, use UFT object identification. Use UFT object identification. That object identification based on user interface design standards. Suppose another scenario, if development team is not following UI design standards, then trial and error, select one or two properties and perform dry run. If they are suitable, continue, otherwise change properties and perform dry runs. Getting?
yes.
Any confusion? Tell me once again how to select unique properties. How to select unique properties?
From the UFT UI.
Yes.
From the UFT UI design standard.
UFT object identification. UFT object identification. That UFT object identification based on UI design standards. If our development team follows UI design standards, then UFT object identification is sufficient. Otherwise, suppose if our development team is not following UI design standards for some objects, then
dry run. I mean, select one or two properties,
one or two
perform dry run,
properties and perform dry run. If suitable, continue. Otherwise, change properties information like that. Perform dry runs. Getting this point? Here, two scenarios. If development team follows UI design standards, then use UFT object identification configuration. Otherwise, dry run. How to know if development team following or not? Just perform dry run. Say, dry run means sample run. Say, test run two types. Say, test run two types, dry run, real run. Dry run purpose of dry run, whether the script is executing without errors or not. Sample run, real run purpose testing. Sample run. See, whenever you create tests, we try to execute na at least once. Getting dry run. What is dry run? Hello?
Yes, sir.
What is dry run?
You should check the syntax if the syntax is correct.
Dry run means sample run. Whether the script is purpose of dry run, whether the script is executing or whether the test is executing without errors or not. Real run purpose testing. See, whenever you create any test script, first perform dry run, whether the script is executing without errors or not. Suppose any problems during execution, then you need to debug, then again run. Getting this point?
Yes.
Sample run. Don't struggle. See, next topic, write descriptive programming. Say, earlier we discussed login scenario, login operation in flight reservation application and a login operation in Gmail. First, login in this one. Flight reservation application. See, you know the steps are navigation. You know the steps are navigation. For login functionality in flight reservation application. Tell me the steps. What is the first step?
Open browser. Sorry. No.
It is Windows based
Activate the
application.
dialog box. Activate the dialog box.
Launch the application. Next, select or activate. Select the login dialog box. Next, third step, enter agent name. Fourth step, enter password. Next, last step, click OK button. See, first statement, utility object statement, remaining 4 test object statements. See, in this scenario, how many test objects? Observe, in this navigation, we need to work with how many objects?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 objects. Okay. Say, first login dialog object, next agent name edit box, password edit box, OK button. First recognize, identify the unique properties. Say, in this navigation, we work with 4 objects. 4 objects. What are the 4 objects? Login dialog box, agent name, next password, edit boxes, next OK button. First, identify unique properties. Here also judgment required. Observe. Say tools objects by say login so many properties information. Go to tools menu, object identification. Here select environment. Environment is standard windows. Environment standard windows. Select test object dialog. Here observe what are the important properties as per UFT object identification. This is based on industry standards. Is child window, is owned window, or native class or text. See, getting this one? Is child window, is owned window, native class text. Observe. Tools objects by see is child window, this is boolean value, true or false. Is owned window also. Text property login. Is it unique or not? Login is label of the object. Unique or not?
It is unique.
Unique. Just a minute. Tools object identification. Next, suppose button, win button. As per UFT object identification, what is the important property? What is the important property?
Native class and text.
Native class. Native class. Okay. If we use this native class, what will happen? Definitely it won't execute. Why? Observe. In this parent, 3 buttons: OK button, cancel button, help button. Observe. Tools objects by take hand icon, show the OK button. See native class. What is the native class property value? Button.
Button.
Button. Next, show cancel button. What is the native class property value?
Button.
Button. Show help button. What is the native class property value?
Button.
Button. Is it unique?
No.
No. Even though we use object identification, UFT object identification, judgment required. Next. So if it is, native class is sufficient, you can use. Otherwise, select next property for this button. What is the next property? Text property. Say tools objects by show the OK button. What is the text property value? OK. Next, show the cancel button. What is the text property value? Cancel. Next, take hand icon, show the help button. What is the text property value? Help. This text property is unique property or not for these buttons?
It is unique.
Unique. Okay, you can use. I will show another scenario. See, in this scenario, text property unique. I will show another scenario. Say in this flight reservation window, top left to right, 6 buttons available with no labels. Say, for those buttons, native class not sufficient. Next, text also not sufficient. Why? No text. Say, native class button, first button, text nothing, no value. Next, second button, native class button not unique, text nothing. Third one, take hand icon and show the third button, native class property value button not unique. Next, text nothing. Say for these buttons, native class not sufficient. Next, text also not sufficient. Then next come to another one. See, object identification. Select environment, standard window, select test object. Say mandatory properties, native class text. Next, go to assistive properties. Second priority, window ID. Window ID. See tools, object spy. First one, first button, window ID 6. Next, second button, window ID 5. Next, third button, window ID 4. See, observe, in this scenario, native class not suitable. Next, text property not suitable, but window ID suitable. See, judgment required. Getting this point? Yes, last priority. Getting the concept?
Yes.
See, suppose for agent name, for login dialog box, you can use text property. Next, agent name, for OK button also you can use, in this scenario, text property. In the next window, text property not suitable, that is different. In this window, in this dialog, all buttons have labels. You can use text property. Next, what about this agent name? See, first of all, object identification, standard windows, win edit. What is the first priority? Attached text. Attached text. See, take hand icon, show the agent name edit box. Attached text value is agent name colon. Next, show the password edit box. Attached text property value is password colon. Is it a unique property or not?
It is. It is.
Unique. Okay. Unique. See, attached text. Any space is there? Space is there. Say, you can use attached text property. Prepare the script. First, as usual, launching statement, system util dot run. Next, path of the application, Next, dialog of text colon equal to text property value login dot methods built in. Put mute, you can get context help. Next, you can copy and paste dot when edit, not case sensitive, of attached text colon equal to agent name colon. This colon part of the value. After agent name, you can observe in this dialog, after agent name colon is there, after password also. Dot set method, enter any 4-digit value. Next, you can copy and paste password colon dot. For passwords, you can use set method or set secure method. If we use set method, enter the password value directly. If we use set secure, use the encoded value. Suppose if you want to keep your password in if you in securable manner, you use set secure only. See, you know how to encode. HP software, HP Unified Functional Testing, tools, password encoder, Mercury, generate, copy, close. Next, last statement, dialog of text colon equal to login dot win button of text colon equal to OK dot click. See, methods common for all types of test design. See, open object repository, nothing. It is descriptive programming, no object repository. Put base state and run the script. See, executing now.
Yes, sir.
Suppose, see, in this scenario, one property is sufficient for every object, one property information. Suppose not sufficient, then how to give? Suppose for this OK button, one property information not sufficient. Just feel how to give. Using commas, you can provide multiple properties information. Suppose height colon equal to, already we know the height, 23. Next, comma, width colon equal to 60. How to get this property values? Using object spy. Say tools, object spy, show the OK button, height 23. Next, text property OK, width width 60. Put base state, required state for running the test. Run the test. See executing. Okay. You tell me, ask me, unmute and ask me.
So we can give, the only thing is you have to look for unique property and
Yes.
value. That's all.
Yes, that is the important thing. Okay, na? Next, centralized maintenance of test objects. Observe, this is descriptive code executing. Say, you can cut and paste this code, take new test. Here no object reference, no object repository required. It will execute. Run the script. Say executing. Say, observe, here no centralized maintenance of objects. This is descriptive code. No object repository required. Faster in execution. Okay. But one drawback is there. No centralized maintenance of test objects. Observe. Here in this test, we used this this dialog box in 4 statements. See in this build, the dialog box name is login. Suppose in the next build, developers changed that dialog box name to register. Suppose 4 times we used that one. We need to change the value in these 4 steps. Suppose we used this login dialog in 10 tests for login test, cancel operation test and other tests. If any modifications are there in future, then how to modify? We need to open each and every test and modify the value. No centralized maintenance. Observe the problem, identify the problem.
Yes.
No centralized maintenance na. If you prepare scripts like this, no centralized maintenance. For example, flight reservation window is there. Based on this window, you prepared 10 tests. One is insert order test, another is open order, update order, fax order, delete order, etc. For every test, that parent object window, suppose you wrote window of text colon equal to flight reservation. Suppose flight reservation name changed. That time you need to open each and every test and change the value. No centralized maintenance. Getting? Here,
Yes, I get it.
centralized maintenance required. How to? For centralized maintenance, we use constants. Say, use constants, VB script constants. Use constants to replace literal values, original values, and place constants in a library file. Next, by associating the library file access objects information. If any modifications are there in future, you no need to open any test. Open library file and perform changes that can be easily reflected to all associated tests. See, if any modifications If any modifications are there, open the library file, perform changes, and save. See, one-time modification. Say constants. Here, see, anyhow, constants we will discuss in VB script chapter. Now situation is demanding. I will introduce constant syntax in VB script chapter. Once again we will discuss constants. See, VB script constants. See, constants, they use it to replace, literal values, and they never change. Fixed value. How to declare constants? Syntax: const using const statement. Constant name, any meaningful name, equal to value. If you want to declare multiple constants in a statement, by separating with the commas you can declare. See example: const city equal to, within double quotes, London. If it is string type data, use double quotes. If it is integer type data, no double quotes. If it is date type data, use hash quotes. This is VB script syntax rules. See, here you can ask one question: why can't we use variables for replacing values? See, you can use variables also, but one problem is there. Variable values vary throughout the execution. Variables values may vary. Suppose I used object name equal to login. Another person used same variable name and value different. Variables take latest values. That time problem na. Getting this point? Why can't we use variables for this scenario?
Because
variables,
same person might
variable values may vary, but constant never change. Suppose same person or another person uses same variable name for different values, what will happen? Variables take latest values. Getting? Suppose example, dim variable declaration. Dim city is variable name. Dim city equal to Hyderabad. Suppose after some statements you assign another value. City equal to London. Observe, what is the final output? At the end, what is the city variable value? At the end of this script, what is the city variable value?
London.
See, up to this middle, up to this statement, city value Hyderabad. Next, at the end city value, London. May vary, but if we use constants, constants never change. Suppose instead of this one, if we use constant, const city equal to Hyderabad, declaration and assigning value in the same statement. Suppose after some time, if you try to assign another value, just a minute. Say it won't accept. Error. Okay na? Why we are using constants in this scenario? For replacing test objects, constants never change. So no duplicates, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Getting the point or not?
Yes, I got.
Okay. See how to declare constants. Observe. Const. You take meaningful names. You can use X, Y, Z also, but use meaningful names. Suppose const login equal to, replace this value. Here you can use that constant name. Observe. Suppose here if I use ABC, here ABC. Getting?
Yes, sir.
See, not only login, you can use ABCD also, but use meaningful names. Suppose const login, comma, agent equal to next password. Not only password, you can use XYZ also, but use meaningful names. Password equal to say we can declare more than one constant in a statement by separating with commas. If you take new line, again you need to use const statement. Say for login dialog we used single property, agent name single property, password single property. But for OK button we used 3 properties information. Constant can hold one value at a time. So here we have to use three constants. Suppose OK1 equal to, comma, OK2 equal to, comma, OK3 equal to. Same. If we use multiple properties information, we need to use multiple constants. We replace literal values with constants. Login, Next, agent, no double quotes. Don't use double quotes for constants or variables. Password, OK1, OK2, OK3. Run the script, executing. Just a minute. Next, you cut these constants. Here script only. Create library file. You know how to create. Launch notepad like editor. Enter or paste the code. Next, save as VBS file. For example, objects.vbs. Save. Close. By associating that file, you can access objects information. Now I didn't associate, just try to run. What will happen? Definitely it will show error. Run, error. Only launched, test objects not recognized. Before that, tell me the syntax. Create, tell me the navigation. Library file. First, creating library file. How to create? Launch notepad. This notepad is editor. Next step, enter or paste the code. Next, or you can type the code, no issue. Type or paste the code. Next, save as VBS file, Visual Basic Script file. This is first one. Next, associate library file. Associate library file. You can associate one or more files. See, association, two levels. One is test level, another is tool level. How to associate? File. File menu. File menu. Settings. Next, resources. Observe the navigation. File menu, settings, resources. Click add icon. Browse path of the library file. File available on desktop. Objects. Next, apply. Save. Click add symbol. Next, browse. Browse path of the file. Then OK. Next, this is association, two levels. Association. two levels. One is test level. Another is tool level. Suppose this library file only for this test, that time test level association enough. Next, suppose this library file required for multiple tests. Using this library file we want to create 40 to 50 tests. That time make it as tool level. Otherwise you need to associate for every test. How to make it tool level? Say same navigation, file, settings, resources, click add icon, browse path of the file. Next select set as default option and click OK. Understand the concept? Any query? Browse path of the file. Next set as default, then OK. See here one more point. We can associate one or more, multiple files also, one or more library files. See, again browse another file, you can associate. Getting this point?
But why do we do file test level and tool level? What is the significance of tool and test?
What I told. Suppose for this library file only required for this current test, then use just a test level. Observe, concentrate. Say, now I deassociated, no library file, run the script, failed. Suppose I want to associate this library file only for this test, not for other tests. How to associate? File, settings, resources, click add icon, browse path of the library file, apply, OK. Run the script, executed only for this test. Suppose take new test, now run the script, definitely it will show error. Now this time make it as tool level. Guide me how to make it as tool level. File menu,
File,
settings, resources, click add icon, browse path of the library file. Next, choose this option, set as default. Then this library file will be associated for every new test. Run the script, executed. Next, cut this code, take new test. This is new test. For this new test you no need to associate, already tool level. Run the script, it will execute. Okay na?
yes.
Any confusion?
Confusion, no.
Okay. See, we can associate one or more library files. Next, one more thing. Say, here only 4 objects. For each and every test, one library file is not required. For every test, one library file is not required. You create single library file for your entire project or one or two library files for entire project. By associating those files, you can create and execute n number of tests. Suppose in my project 20 screens are there, 400 objects are there. I created all 400 constants information in single library file. By associating that library file, I can create and execute n number of tests. Getting this point? Say.
Yes.
Say for every test one library file is not required. You place all objects information in a single library file. By associating that library file, you can execute n number of tests. See, by associating the library file, we can create and execute n number of tests. See why we used constants and library file. Tell me the purpose.
Library file.
Why we created constants and created library file?
Library file is used to, if you want that script to run over and over again, you can run that script from the library
file. For centralized maintenance of test objects.
Okay, centralized maintenance.
Otherwise, you can directly use that script. You can directly use the constant information in the main test. Otherwise, you no need to create constants. You can directly write the properties and information. For centralized maintenance, suppose here login, I use it in four statements. If any modification is there, you no need to open this test. Just a single edit here. Instead of login, enter the new name that can be easily reflected to all associated tests. One-time modification. Getting the point? Why we use constants and library file?
Centralized maintenance.
For centralized maintenance of test objects. Test objects. Okay. Now, put mute. Prepare that script for that Google Gmail login operation. See. Navigation for Gmail login functionality. First tell me the steps. Steps are navigation. Steps are navigation. First launch the browser. See, for recording also navigation important. You must know the navigation. Launch the browser and navigate and navigate to string value gmail.com. Next, second step, what is the second step? Enter email, enter password, enter email, enter password. Next, click on sign in button. Here, how many objects involved in this navigation? See, enter email, enter password, enter, click sign in button. How many objects, how many test objects involved in this navigation? How many test objects involved in this navigation?
4.
4. What are the 4?
4. Browser, email, password, sign in.
What about page?
A page, yeah.
5 objects. Observe. Tools, object spy. Take the hand icon. Observe the hierarchy. See this edit box. This edit box is child of page, page child of browser. Browser is parent, page is child, web edit is subchild. See, for browsers, always you use creation time. Creation time. It is unique. Observe object identification. Web. For browser, any mandatory properties or assistive properties? No. No guarantee. No guarantee. See, browser names vary. Dynamically change. Here observe last priorities. Name, title, other things. Otherwise, you can use creation time. Here observe creation time means object loading time. Latest browser creation time is 0. Latest browser creation time is 0. See, use creation time for browser object. Next, for page. Page also no important properties. Last priority title or URL. Next, web edit. HTML tag or name. HTML tag or name. Observe. Properties information. Properties information varies from one environment to another. Earlier we used edit box, WinEdit, edit box in Windows environment. We used attached text property. Next, edit box in web environment, no attached text property. Here you can use either HTML tag or name. HTML tag or name. Next, sign in button, web button. For buttons also same. You can use HTML tag or name. See, tools, object, spy. Take and I can show the email edit box. HTML tag. What is HTML tag? What is the value?
Input.
Input. Next, show the other box. Other edit box. Password. For password also same. Input na. HTML tag value. So it is not unique. Next, consider another property. What is another property? Name. Name. What is the name? Passwd for this password. Next, for email. Email. So it is unique. Okay, see. Put mute. Here objects browser. For browser, use creation time property. Latest browser creation time 0, always 0, colon equal to 0. Next, page. For page you can use either title or URL. Try. Next, web edit box, use name property. Next, web button, use name property. Observe. First, as usual, utility statement, system util dot run. Next, within double quotes, path of the browser, comma URL www.gmail.com. Just run this statement. Launching. Next, enter email. Email, parent child hierarchy required. Browser page email. How to get object hierarchies? See objects by, take hand icon, show the object. You can view the object hierarchy now. What is the hierarchy? Browser page edit box. Next, password, same, browser page edit box. Next, sign in button, browser page web edit. See, first one, browser of, within double quotes, creation time colon equal to 0, dot colon equal to 0 dot page of title colon equal to, get the title using object spy. Tools, object spy, take hand icon, show the browser, show the page. Page title, Gmail. Dot web edit of name colon equal to email dot set. Next, password. Next, password. See, password edit box. What is the name value? Tools, object spy, show the password. What is the name value? Pass WD. See, external name password, but internal pass WD. Yes, you take this one only. See, use set secure method. Next, encode the password. You know how to encode. Tools, password encoder. Enter the password, generate, copy, close. Within double quotes, enter the value. Next, same object hierarchy. This time, button, web button of name colon equal to. Observe tools menu objects by take and icon show the sign in button. See name sign space in. Dot click. Put base state. Run the script. Observe executing now. See once again. Base state. Observe. Run the script. Executing now. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. See, like this you can write web scripts. See how to handle duplicate objects I will show. Test script. Observe. This is Gmail browser. Suppose this is Google browser. Next, first I launched Google browser. Next, Yahoo browser. Next, Rediff browser. Suppose which one is latest? See browser of creation time colon equal to 0 dot close. Or run the script. Say observe Observe, launch one more browser, Yahoo browser, Rediff browser already there. Next, Google browser. Run this script. How many browsers on desktop? 3 browsers. Yahoo, Rediff, Google. Run the script. Say, what is the oldest browser creation time? Earlier only one browser, only gmail.com. So there is no oldest latest concept. Here 3 browsers, suppose in this scenario 2 browsers, I want to close, suppose 3 browsers. See, observe, 3 browsers. First Google, this is old one. Google old one. Next, Yahoo second one. Yahoo second one. Next, latest one, Rediff. Now I want to close oldest browser. Google, use 0. Suppose I want to close latest browser, means I want to access latest browser. Creation time n-1, 3 browsers. Creation time 0, n-1. n-1 means 3 minus 1. Here n, how many browsers? 3. n-1. 3 minus 1, 2. Now which one will be closed? See, old one Google, second one Rediff, second one Yahoo, last one Rediff. Which one? I want to close latest one. Close it now. Now tell me. Latest browser. Creation time. What is the latest browser creation time? n-1. See, total browsers minus 1. Suppose in our desktop 10 browsers opened. 10 browsers opened. Opened on desktop. Latest browser 9. Next, oldest. Oldest browser creation time 0. Suppose only one browser. Only one browser opened on desktop. Then creation time what is the creation time? 0. 1 minus 0. 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1. 0. 1 minus 1, 0. Suppose, for example, this comes under duplicate objects. Here browser is duplicate. Suppose if browser is duplicate, we can use creation time. Suppose in one web page, 2 link objects same links, names same, remaining properties same. two links with same name. Then how to handle two links with same name? Use index property. Index 0 to n minus 1. Top left to bottom right. Top left link 0, next 1, next 2, like that. See, use index property. Example, link of text colon equal to news, link name news, but same link available in another location, same page, same parent, comma, index colon equal to 1. It will click on second link, top left to bottom right. Tell me how to handle duplicate objects using index property. How to handle duplicate browsers using creation time. Creation time. Latest browser creation time n-1, oldest browser creation time 0. If it is only one browser, 0 only. Okay. See, here I will give assignments. See, we completed. See, descriptive programming, two types: static programming, dynamic programming. Now we just completed static programming. What we discussed was static programming only. In the next class, I will explain dynamic descriptive programming. Before that, I will give 2 or 3 assignments. You try to complete these assignments by this weekend. Say, descriptive programming, two types. What we discussed was static programming. Dynamic programming we'll discuss in next class. Difference also I will explain. Static programming, next dynamic programming. See, assignments. First one, write descriptive. Write descriptive program for open order functionality. Open order functionality in flight reservation application. Next, write descriptive programming. I will explain navigation also. For customer registration, functionality in dealsdirect.com.au, Australian web portal, e-commerce portal. Next, one more, the same website, write descriptive program for login functionality in dealsdirect.com. See these three assignments. Say first I will explain open order functionality. First login, you forget about login, you put base state flight reservation window. See this is base state, means from flight reservation window you create this script. You launch flight reservation window manually. See for first assignment, base state flight reservation window. Next navigation. Observe. See first select flight reservation window, means activate, click on open order button, check order number checkbox, enter order number, click OK button, order opened. See this is general navigation, you use file menu navigation. Some one twist is there. First select alternate navigation is there, you follow this alternate navigation. One twist is there. Say first select flight reservation window, go to file menu, select file menu and select open order item, file menu item. See same. Next remaining navigation same. Use file menu navigation. See first step, launch already base state flight reservation window, so just activate that one. Activate the flight reservation window. Next select file menu. Select file menu. Next choose next step, open order item, menu item. Choose open order. Next flight open order dialog box opens. Here check order number checkbox. Next enter order number. Next click default button. Here button is OK button. Next write descriptive programming for customer registration. Observe navigation. First base state none, means from scratch you need to prepare the script. Base state none. From scratch. See for both launch the browser. Launch the browser and navigate to this one, dealsdirect.com.au. For the third assignment also, same base state. Just a minute. Same step. First step same. Observe the remaining steps. See deals direct.com.au. See here registration. See after launching this home page, click register link, enter email address, any unique email address. That email existing or not, it won't check. It checks whether that email address in correct format or not. Something at something dot something. Enter email address, confirm email address, choose password, click register and continue button. Next, navigation for login functionality. After registration, you use that same login credentials. Enter registered email address, enter password, click on login and continue button. See, navigation. Enter. First click register. Click register link. Next, enter email address. Next, confirm email address, means enter same value. Confirm email address. Next, choose password. Next, click register and continue link. Register and continue link. Next, last one. Tell me the navigation for login functionality. First, launch the browser and navigate to dealsdirect.com.au. Next,
input.
What input? Click register. Click login link. Click login link.
And then enter username.
Enter email address. Enter password. Click login and continue button. Okay.
Okay.
Put mute. Next, enter email address. Next, enter password. Next, click login and continue button. See, you prepare descriptive codes for these three functionalities.